right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Hello and welcome to Trendz. I am PommyInOz, also known as Daniel, and I'm here with Inner Sanctum with a new show that will be taking you through what is trendy in the AFL. And today we are focusing on the Fremantle Dockers. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. So we can see as Fremantle pop up from last season they finished fifth, and it was a really solid year for them. You've got to remember, and it is really interesting noting that they do rank 15th and 16th for games played and age, respectively. And one of their big takeouts last year was their inability to probably score, finishing 14th in points with a real poignant backline and something that showed a lot of control in the game. They were a real tough side to break down. They were number one side for disposals per game, really good ball retention, which is how most ball sports are played now, a real monopoly on holding possession, as, of course, it's very hard to score when you don't have the ball. Interesting enough as well, they were one of the harder teams as well to utilise the ball with. They were ranked fifth least for opponents' touches again, so a real condensed midfield and defence, and that kind of makes sense. Players like Will Brodie and Brayshaw really dominate and stifle the opposition, and a real aim of trying to hit teams back on the overlap and the counter. One of the big things, though, like we say, is the goal kicking and the actual scoring, which probably held them back. And this year, we've started to see, in just the early starts of knowledge that we have, of what Fremantle can do. And that is with this three-pronged attack. Matt Taberner is a great footballer in his own right, and he really does get the game going. Just under 2 goals a year last year, and that needs to improve if they are to improve, but also the goals coming in and around them. And Luke Jackson is one that really did stand out in the practice games. So let's take a look at Big Luke. 22 games last year for Melbourne. He's just in that 21 category, the ruck forward. And our Trendz rank him having 15th in the rucks. Very solid ruckman as it is, coming out of Gaunt's shadow. And I think the complementary showpiece between him and Darcy is going to be really important. But what we noticed in the practice game this week is him resting forward, and his great athleticism and his great versatility. He has a great understanding as well on when to lead, and he engages contacts really early. Gives the midfield a really poignant target. And that, for me, is going to be something that I'm really looking out for in the early parts. There was really a set plan from Fremantle in this practice game to get the ball in early. And that is quite interesting because sometimes last season, Fremantle could have been accused of being kind of lackadaisical with their ball movement. Sometimes we saw in the mid-tens West Coast Eagles, overuse can creep in, and it's really important to have that outlet ball. And Luke Jackson works incredibly hard between the arcs, and with Darcy there dominating in the ruck, which he can do, Luke Jackson running around and being his legs is going to be a real staple. Something that Luke has to obviously fix, going at about 50% for the career shots at goal. But with 4.9 last year score involvements, he's a really key pillar and someone to watch in this week's practice game with some kind of excitement, I would feel, for the Dockers faithful. The other guy that has now gone forward, former captain and probably fair to say Fremantle legend, Nat Fyfe. Now, what is interesting about Mr. Fyfe is this is going to be his first full year as a forward, and it really did look like that. It was almost 80% forward time. And what I love about this move, and we've seen it really successfully in the AFL, you saw Cripps early doors rest forward. When you're 191 and 92 kegs, and the way you use your body, when Jackson and Taberner are resting forward, this guy is probably going to get the second or third defender. And that is where it unlocks. And we've seen teams really utilise this kind of medium-sized forward Dustin Martin springs to mind. Jordan De Goey springs to mind. It's an awkward matchup because they're probably not going to get the primary defender, the primary stopper, and they're real awkward to match up on. Nat Fyfe has always been very good in the air and very strong, and he's got incredible football IQ, and he isn't afraid of a goal because when you look at him throughout his career playing as an exclusive midfielder, he's always averaged just around a goal a game anyway. So that should take a while to probably feed in, but once it happens, and his movement at the weekend was really impeccable. It looked really solid. Just the 7 games last year, and obviously, like we say, coming into the 31st year of age, this mid-forward we're going to classify him as, because I do expect he'll pinch it in the key moments, and a Trendz ranking for mids of 29th from last year with limited games played shows the output of Nat Fyfe. This guy is a game changer, and one that I should feel that if I was a Fremantle fan, it will work, because what it does with that awkward size is you saw quite often he dropped almost as the deepest player in the goal square, and it causes havoc because he is faster on foot speed than the average key defender, and his ability to initiate body contact and his understanding of where he is on the field is really important. And I look at this forward line and I think that Fremantle this year, they are going to add the goals. They are going to add that next layer because JL has got them playing so solid from the back. And you've got to remember that championships are won in the back line. It's a really interesting development for Fremantle and something that is going to be trendy. We talk about trends on this show. Having that medium-sized forward is so key to today's game. When you link that with the young players they've got and also the experience in Walters, who is a X-Factor player, they have really got a forward line that I feel could do some damage. So definitely this week, check out Fremantle Dockers practice game. They're someone that we're watching. That is all we've got time for. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. In the comments, discuss if you're a Fremantle Docker. Do you feel like you've got better, or do you think that it's going to be same old, same old? And if you are an opposition fan, let us know what you think of Fremantle's 3-pronged attack. Is that something that's going to excite you? Until next time, see you soon.